Hey folks, JD here, and apologies straight off the bat. My voice has gone. I haven't been well for the past couple of days, so I thought twice about not making this video, and then I thought, well, I was just going to go ahead and do it anyway. So apologies if my voice sounds a little bit weird. So today, I've been asked a few questions over the past couple of days about flying quadcopters, and even though this is not the definitive way to fly, I thought I would just show you a little couple of tips and tricks that I picked up on when I was first learning to fly. So I've come back out with this little beauty, so I thought we'd have a quick little look and fly this one round. I also want to say, as I'm setting this little guy up, that in the next couple of days JD Quad has been going for 12 months. It was the 24th of April that I started. And I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that supported me over the months to make this channel something that I'm really proud of. So thank you folks. Here's to the next 12 months. Right, so I'm just setting this guy up. So we're just going to pull these little propeller arms out. There we go. Until we have that. So when I first thought about setting up this channel, I had absolutely no flying experience at all. The only experience with remote control vehicles I had was with quite large remote control cars, but still it was not with flying machines. So what I did was I came out to this very paddock and I decided to learn. So what I did was a couple of movements that I'm going to show you now. So for the purpose of this video, I brought out a quadcopter with altitude hold. This just makes it a little bit easier when I'm showing you a couple of movements. So when I say, before I started the channel I had no experience in flying, I quite literally had no experience. So what I did was, after reading a couple of magazines, watching a load of people fly and watching a few videos, I decided to come out to a place like this, well actually this place, and learn how to fly. And how I did that was quite simple. Now obviously, as I say, this isn't the definitive way to fly, this is just how I learnt. Obviously different people learn at different rates and people learn different ways. So if you find this useful, great. If you don't, then I am very sorry. Okay, so we got a slight breeze coming in here today, so we got this little quadcopter. I'm just trying to keep it steady. So a couple of movements that I did when I first started out that I found really helped were just by taking the quadcopter out and bringing her back to me on slow speed. Things like this. Okay, so these are just the quite simple movements that I first learned. Was just rocking the quadcopter back and forth, bringing it back to yourself and then stopping it before it hits you. Now, this movement seems very basic, but it starts to build up. It starts to build up your experience for flying and your experience for handling the quadcopter. Now, when I first started, I couldn't fly very well, so what I would do is I would take the quadcopter out to a particular place like that, turn the quadcopter around, and then fly her back to me. Now, I post the first couple of videos I did in the description. I'll post the first couple of videos that I did in the description. But quite honestly, the movements are quite robotic. They're not very fluid, which is how I found the easiest way to fly. So whenever I wasn't recording, whenever I wasn't testing a new quad, then I found it quite advantageous to come out and just perform little manoeuvres like this. So as for banking and stuff like that, the easiest way that I could say to learn, that I found to learn, now obviously if there are other easier ways out there, then great, but was just to take, as I said, take the quadcopter out so far, turn her around, and then start to fly back. As I got more confident, I wouldn't have to brake, and I would just turn the quadcopter around very slowly as the quadcopter was moving, and then bring her back to me. As it goes for holding the transmitter, I was told a couple of different ways to hold it. I was shown via videos a couple of different ways to hold it. Some people like to hold the transmitter with their with their index finger and thumb. I find this very, very unstable way of flying. I prefer to hold it like a game controller, where both of my thumbs are on both the analog sticks on the tip, and I'm holding on to the rest of the transmitter like this. Many other people prefer to strap these particular transmitters around their necks and hold them against their stomachs until they're flat there. I personally don't. I prefer to have the freedom of my hands, but also not to have them restricted in any way. A couple of people I know as well wear gloves when flying. If you find the transmitter doesn't have that much grip, that might be an option for you. I found as well is to get used to the quadcopter and to all the different ways that it can point and to all the different ways it can fly. This really does help in situations where you have to anticipate where the quadcopter is going to go. See, it's just quite nice little movements like this, and then you can start turning her and then fly her backwards and then fly her forwards. I had every single moment that I had which wasn't taking up with either work or recording a video. I'd come out and I would just fly, and I found it very, very advantageous just to do little manoeuvres like this, turn the quadcopter around, fly her backwards. So folks, I hope this video has helped and give you some little tips and tricks as to when you're flying. So there we are folks. Thanks ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD, you've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. And until next time my friends, when hopefully my voice is better, happy flying.